Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of When the Shift Hits the Fan. Tonight, we want to welcome all of our new listeners out there. We have quite a few of you that dropped in on this session tonight, so welcome. My name is Mark Jeffrey, and I'm here with my gorgeous co-host, all the way from Florida, Linda Lehman. Good evening, Linda.
Good evening, Mark. How are you today?
I'm doing absolutely awesome. We had an amazing snowfall over the weekend, about 1.5 feet of snow up here. But it was just so pretty, and the weather was so warm. It was just kind of hard to be mad about it. So, and it's starting to melt again. So we're off to another new beginning, and perhaps we will see spring. Perhaps.
Excellent.
Yeah. So tonight's show is a little bit different than what we normally do. And what we want you to do is we're going to give you a ton of scenarios about how you put your nails in your prosperity coffin. I guess that's what we're saying, right, Linda?
That's right, Mark. How do you nail that lid shut and you believe that you can't get it open again? That's what we're going to talk about tonight.
Now, and we're going to give you a lot of different scenarios that we want you to think about and see if you recognize yourself in any of these, because these are the nails that you are putting in your own prosperity and happiness coffin. So it'll probably hurt a little bit, I would imagine, when you see some of those things. But get out your journal tonight and get out a notepad if you haven't got a journal, and just start, when you see yourself in any of the things that we bring up tonight, maybe write that down, because we're not giving you any solutions tonight, not one. We are actually going to be doing that in our second part of this. Tonight, it's all about you recognizing what's stopping you from living an unlimited life. So, Linda, let's start off here with our first. This is the one, right? This is the major one for a lot of people, feeling unworthy and unloved. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, absolutely, Mark. And I want all of our listeners to really take what we're talking about tonight to heart. You know, Mark said, if you recognize yourself in any of these, go ahead and write it down. Nobody's judging. But before you can make any strides toward improvement to get yourself out of whatever pickle that you have found yourself into, or whatever coffin you found yourself in, you got to be brutally honest with yourself. You got to look yourself in the mirror, and you have to say, okay, this is where I am right now. Because until you recognize exactly where you are, you don't know where you're going to go, and you don't know how to get there. So I wanted to make that little, announcement, public service announcement. But don't be shy. Nobody's going to judge you. Nobody's going to look over your shoulder, see what you're writing down. But you have to be honest with yourself. So if you are feeling unworthy or you feel like nobody loves you, then write it down. Be honest.
You know, and that's one of the reasons why we don't do like what a lot of other people do when they're doing online webinars. We do not ever show the registrations or the people who attend, because this is your personal journey, and we're not announcing to the world that you have any kind of problems, right? That's between you and the gatepost. We can see who you are, and we'll always be available to you, but no one else can see. We just don't do that here, because we know that a journey through hell can be just that. And it's something that, you maybe don't want other people involved until maybe you're feeling a little bit more confident. But we put feeling unworthy and unloved at the very top of this, because we often talk to people, and we coach a lot of people. We do a lot of live shows around the world. And what we have found is that this is the number one stop if people feel unworthy. Well, I'm going to tell you, Linda, this is interesting. How many of you wouldn't go out to a really nice, 5-star or Michelin star restaurant by yourself?
Ooh, there's a good question.
Right. Now, why wouldn't you do that? Because somebody would think you didn't have a date?
Mm-hmm.
No friends? I do it all the time because I travel by myself a lot.
Yeah, you know what? I do too.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, even for me, the first time or two was uncomfortable.
Yeah, and why did you feel that way?
Well,
Not that I didn't. I'm just asking you.
Yeah. Well, I started looking around the restaurant, and typically when I would go to a nice restaurant, I would have Randy with me, or one of my girls with me, and so there I was sitting all by myself, looking around at all these other people who I thought were looking at me. They probably didn't even notice. But and then I started imagining all of the things that must be going through their minds. And it was exactly what you said. Gosh, she's all alone. Nobody wants to be with her. Nobody wants to have dinner with her. She's all by herself.
Yeah.
So yeah, those feelings of unworthiness were trying to bubble up. But I have to tell you, Mark, after the first couple of times, it didn't bother me a bit. And actually, it's kind of nice sometimes, especially if you're traveling and you're working while you're traveling, and sometimes you just want to decompress. You don't want to sit in your room. You kind of want a change of scenery or a change of venue. So you go to a restaurant just to decompress and sit there quietly and enjoy the atmosphere and enjoy every single bite of food that you're eating.
Exactly, and I'm going to flip the script. How many times have you been out to dinner with Randy where someone was eating alone that it even come up in your conversation?
That's a hard one, Mark, because I've done this so long that I don't think about it when I see somebody sitting at a restaurant eating alone now, I'm thinking, oh man, they're traveling on business. And then I start looking at them to see if they're comfortable or uncomfortable.
But the thing is, though, for the most part, though, we wouldn't be talking about them, right? We got our own lives. Right. We're not going to go, oh, man, do you see that lady over there? Bet you she can't get a date. I mean, nobody's doing that.
Yeah.
So if you're now, I have on occasion when I've been traveling and I'm by myself and I see someone else eating alone, I sometimes will go over and say, are you having fun eating alone, or would you like somebody to, would you like to chat, have dinner with me, something like that. Sometimes, but I'm like you, Linda, most of the time I'm looking forward to that time where I can order whatever wine I want and dinner, whatever I want, and just, decompress and have a good time. But those are those feelings inside of us that something's wrong if we're taking off on a path that other people are not on. And I just brought up restaurant because I think that's, one of the things that people have a hard time doing. They just don't go out, or to a movie even. Sometimes people don't even want to do that. Well, people will think, I have no friends. No, you know what? Enjoy your life. That's part of living an unlimited life, and you're worth it. So stop feeling unworthy, stop feeling unloved. And if you are feeling like that, well, we're going to give you some things that you're going to have to be working on. So let's talk about our next little adventure here. This one I love, Linda. I love this one because it's ingrained in there, that dirty, filthy, rich, dirty money. No good can come of that.
Mhm. Exactly. I remember even sometimes my parents coming out with some form of filthy rich, and the only way that the guy down the street can have that big house and drive that fancy car, obviously he's doing something dishonest.
Mhm. Yeah, it's just something like they're just filthy rich. When we put negative connotations on anything, but this was one we knew everybody would get right off the bat because everybody's either said it or heard it. You know, all those negative things that you talk about, money, prosperity, any negatives in that way. Well, what we have to tell you, money's not coming your way, so stop looking for it. Because when you have this type of attitude towards something as marvelous as money, you're going to have a problem getting it.
Yeah, you know, money's just money, and if you think it's filthy, if you think it's dirty, if you think it's sinful, then if you come into money, you're going to either get rid of it or lose it. And you may not intend to when you first come into it, but it'll happen because of your thoughts about filthy money and filthy rich. But again, tonight's not about solving the problem. It's just to helping all of us identify who and where we are. Exactly.
So, dirty, filthy, rich. Now, here's the one that's always a big one. Every show we talk about this, believing your own monkey chatter. And we started off with that, you know, being in the restaurant, feeling unworthy. You know, you have to identify where that's coming from because it is shadows, it is not real, it's like a Houdini trick, a magician's trick. It's not real.
Right. Exactly. You can't, I mean, believe it or not, you can control the monkey chatter. But again, that's something for another day. But most people allow that negative monkey chatter to just go on, and they believe it.
Mhm. Yep. I'm not worthy. I'm never going to have any money. You know, I'm never going to lose this weight. I'll never get that great job. Oh, blah, 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 blah.
Chatter,
Stop
chatter,
listening to your monkey chatter. Okay, here's another big one. How many times have you done something on the advice of somebody else and it was an epic fail?
I'll raise my hand. Yep, I've been there, done that.
I'll raise my hand. I've been there, done that.
Yep. Even though my intuition was screaming at me, I did it anyway.
Yep. I think, Linda, we did one the same.
I think so. We didn't talk. We just did it.
We just did it.
And then we compared notes and went, oops.
Yeah. Fell into the same hole. And this is it. And this is why I picked this. The devil doesn't come to you with his red face and horns. He comes to you disguised as everything you've ever wanted. And that's the truth of it. Because sometimes when we want things so badly, we're willing to accept any way to get them. And we're not trusting our own intuition and our own feelings. We're trusting someone else. And I mean, hey, that comes, and we know this, Linda, relationships, marrying the wrong person for the wrong reasons. I mean, this could be an on and on. So if you see yourself in this, I want you to write the many ways that this has happened in your life. See, Linda and I can sit there and say, yeah, we raise our hand because we've been through all of this stuff. You know, we weren't born immaculate conception and then into superhuman beings. We can sit here and say what we do because we crash and we burn a lot. We just know how to get back up. We're going to be teaching how to do that. So let's move on to our next little thing because I did talk about shadow.
Ooh, that's a good one, fearing your own shadow. Yep, you're right. Comfort zone's a beautiful place, but that's where you're going to be stuck. I mean, if you look around yourself today and maybe even you're uncomfortable, maybe you don't like particularly the situation or the circumstances around you, but it's more comfortable than stepping into the unknown. You're afraid of that shadow. You're afraid of what it has for you. So, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are probably, Mark, taking a note on this one, fearing your own shadow, afraid to step out of your comfort zone.
Yep, out of your comfort zone, away from your friends, out of that job that you hate. With every day you get up and you hate that job, but you just won't walk away.
That's right. I mean,
that's what we're talking about, my friend.
Exactly.
Okay, well, let's move on here, Linda, because we just kind of talked about it. Believing your current circumstances are as good as it gets. That's all you're ever going to get. You're not worth anything more. Monkey chatter, unworthy. Are we stacking these up? Are your shoulders feeling a little heavy right now?
Mine are.
Gosh, mine are too. I'm stretching and trying to wheedle off my back here.
Yeah, wow. But yeah, there is I was born into this. This is all I ever have, and this is as good as it gets. This is just the way my family is. This is the way I am. It's not ever going to get any better, so why should I try? That weight's getting heavier and heavier. I've got to stop.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's not my fault.
Oh, yeah.
It's not my fault. If you have ever said, it's not my fault, that's you.
Mhm.
That's you. So what we have to say, the happiest people don't have the best of everything. They make the best of everything they have. Moving on.
Mhm.
Your beliefs.
Mm. Wow, that's a big one. Your limiting beliefs. Your beliefs limit what you think your options are. I can never get the job I want because I didn't finish college. Nobody will hire me because I'm a woman.
I'll never make the same wage as a man because I'm a woman.
Yeah. All of those are just made-up stories you've told yourself in your mind over and over again until you believe it. Anything, absolutely anything that you tell yourself over and over and over again becomes a belief. It becomes true to you.
Yep, it's a habit.
Yep.
It's a habit.
Tell a different story. Begin next time.
Yep, so that's the thing. The only thing limiting us in life is our belief that there are limits.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't limits. They're only your beliefs where you're stopped, where the gate is for you. So, okay, moving on. Oh, Lord, I wish people wouldn't do this.
Oh, my goodness, accepting what other people think about you. Oh, man. So worried about what other people will think. We go back to that restaurant. Realistically, nobody else in the restaurant even paid much attention to you at all. They weren't thinking about you because you know why? They were too tied up in their own problems and their own beliefs. But, if somebody else comes to you and they start squelching and stomping on your dream, they're not stomping on your dream. What they're doing is visibly showing you their own limiting beliefs about themselves.
Exactly, and they're trying to push it on you because you're wide open. You're a receiver.
Yep, you're receiving it. You're agreeing with them, and so they just won.
Yeah, it's really funny because there was one time, long time ago, and I worked in a place where a lot of people worked, and so it was always, that's pretty much what lunch was. It was just pretty much the bitch session. And even back in the day, I had no tolerance for it. Like, I just not tolerance for it. And it's not that I'm a better person than other people. I just was not born with any tolerance for stuff. I like the sunshine. I just don't like that. And so it was like people started picking on me. Well, you're too good for us, you blah, blah, blah. A lot of stuff, right? And I could have easily let them, and I just said, no, you're not conducting a conversation that I have any value and can contribute to. I'll tell you, that stopped them in the tracks, and they couldn't say anything for at least 10 minutes. They didn't even know what that was.
Exactly. I remember way back when at one of my positions, I was being very successful at what I was doing, and so then the chatter starts. Oh, well, you are only doing well because you're friends with the boss, or your parents are friends with the boss. It's the only reason that you're doing so well, or that you got this area and not that area. And oh yeah, people can be, when people are insecure about themselves, and they do try to apply their thought processes on you, and they try to make you look small, like you couldn't do anything spectacular on your own. You know, I heard you only got the promotion because like you were teacher's pet or whatever.
Yeah. Yep, it is. But the thing is that what other people think of you is none of your business. Okay, so that's all I'm going to leave you with on that one. But we're going to come back to that next show because it's a biggie. So here's another huge one. Addicted. Not just quitting every once in a while, but quitting all the time. Addicted to quitting.
Oh, this one breaks my heart, Mark.
Mm-hmm.
I see so many people just get so excited, they're pursuing their dream, and then they quit. It gets a little hard, and they quit. And quite frankly, being addicted to quitting is because part of it is because they're allowing all the other stuff that we've talked about already tonight to pile up on their shoulders.
Exactly. See a theme happening here, folks? You know, because I am willing to bet that each and every one of you, like Linda and I, can see yourself in everything that we've brought up to date, because we've all been influenced or burdened by all of this, either by someone else or something that's happened or something we've read on the internet. Because, God, that's got to be true.
If it's on the internet, it has to be true.
So if you find yourself running for the exit sign every time somebody yells fire and it was not, if you run for the exit sign every time something feels a little uncomfortable, we're talking to you. Oops, I just banished you right off the screen. Look at that.
Did you take the exit sign?
I took the exit sign. Sorry. Okay, well, drama queen, drama in your life is queen. Yeah, and this is people who thrive on this. Like if there's no drama in their life, they just can't deal with it. And you know what? Reality shows just make me crazy. Because people, I was just reading an article, and this just blows me away. This girl is 14 years old, and was talking about, was asking her, okay, so it would be her uncle, so her mother's sister's brother, but they're stepbrothers, stepsister, brother, whatever. So, okay, not related to the uncle, asking him, because it was a big deal as to him saying, like, look, when somebody comes up and says something like this to you, I hope that nobody's taking this seriously, asking him to get pregnant, because wouldn't that be, because there's some teen pregnancy show or something, wouldn't that be awesome? They're always looking for a hook. So if you get me pregnant, we could be on TV. And I'm going, oh my word. But that's where people are. People are getting sucked into these reality shows, and I think they believe that if their lives aren't like that, they're not living the good life. Trust me, when there's no drama in your life, that's a good life.
That's the good life. You know, all drama is for is to sell advertising on TV.
Yeah.
Or to sell, I would say newspapers, but those have gone by the wayside. But the news shows still want to sell their advertising, so even their drama sells. But
well, it's like, look on Facebook.
Out.
Yeah, that's it. Look at Facebook. If you say something nice on Facebook, oh, I'm having a great day, hardly anybody, good for you. Yeah. If you say something like, oh, my rat boyfriend, blah, 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 you're going to get a million comments on that. People are addicted to drama, but the problem is you're not living a good life. And if you respond to get sucked into that stuff, you're just a drama queen or king or pawn. You're a pawn.
I don't even think you're royalty. You're actually a pawn.
No, you're the pawn. And you're going to get taken out first. So Moving on. No one will ever love you. We talked about that at the very beginning of this, but we're talking about people, kids even. We have people that listen to our show as young as 13. So we're very cognizant of what we say here, because a lot of this is where things are happening. When the teen angst, right? And I go back to, I guess I was fortunate when I was a teenager. I wrote, like I always had a journal, but I wrote songs and I wrote poems and I wrote a lot. So all of the things, and I think that's why a lot of our teen pop stars or country stars, and even actors or actresses are so good at it, because we are filled up with it. And if we don't have an outlet for things can go very, very bad.
Mhm. They certainly can. I had great friends, and we had so many wonderful activities when I was a teenager, and I loved my life. But I know that there's so many out there who think, they think that nobody will ever love them. And again, it's going back to they're not feeling worthy of love.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe when they were itty bitty in a temper rage, their parents said that they weren't worth anything, or they'll never amount to anything. And so again, you start listening to all that monkey chatter, and it starts piling up, and there you are, sitting in a corner saying how much you hate your life. Nobody loves me, everybody hates. What is that childhood song? Nobody loves me, everybody hates me. I think I'll eat a worm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh,
there you are.
Yeah, and then as you get older, the worm was in the tequila. Okay, we're not going to go there.
Yeah, okay.
But this is in adulthood too. You're a male or a female that maybe has had some bad relationships, and what? I hate my life. I can't ever find a good man, or I can't find a good woman. You're looking in the wrong places. We'll get back to that on another show.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have feeling that you have no power. So this is it. Read this. Have you ever felt like your life is a constant uphill battle? No matter what you do or how hard you try, you always get less than what you hoped for, what you wanted. Okay, so we put out a question on our page and to some of the people we coach, and we asked them, what do you want us to talk about? Number one was this right here.
Mhm. Absolutely. You feel stuck. You feel like there's no way out, nowhere to go. No matter how hard you try, you work hard, you try hard, and you get in no place.
You have no power. It'll never change.
Mhm.
How did you get here?
Exactly.
Why me? Yeah, if you feel like that, that's you.
Mhm.
Okay, so we talked a little bit before about your beliefs and that, and creating these habits. And some of them are very ingrained, but let's talk about other habits: smoking, drugs, drinking, that same relationship that you keep having over and over and over again that never serves you, that same job that you keep getting over and over and over again that you hate. Those are all habits that you built, again, from what we talked about earlier, the limiting beliefs and believing what other people thought of you, and allowing your circumstances, people, place, and things to define you.
Exactly, Mark. Everything that we've talked about just keeps piling on, and it's all this vicious circle. It all comes back to your beliefs, your habits, what you're telling yourself is true.
Mm-hmm. So do you see yourself?
Time to get it out of there.
Yeah. Are you seeing yourself? Okay. So for next show, get a big broom.
Mhm.
Moving on. Excuses. And we've been talking about excuses this whole time. Have you heard us? I can't do it. It won't happen for me. That's all excuses. So from the beginning of this show, after I said my gorgeous host Linda Lehman and good day, it's been all excuses about why you cannot be who you want to be, have what you want to have, and live where you want to live, do what you want to do. It's all excuses.
That's all it is. And excuses are just words. They're just things that we make up for ourselves. It's just like, I want to change jobs, but I want to work for myself and have a glorious life, but I want a wonderful, loving relationship, but I can't. I don't have time. I live in the wrong part of the world. I don't have a nice car. I don't have an. I mean, la 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 blah blah blah.
Yeah, I should have put a big butt on this picture.
Just now thought of it.
Because that's it. If any time that's contained within your sentence, it's an excuse. Because it's not but. It's something else. We'll be talking about that on our next show. Mm-hmm. So life is passing you by. You know, you're right. It is. If you've been doing anything that we've talked about to this point, you're right. Life is passing you by. You're not living an unlimited life. You've created the life that's passing you by. And you like it, obviously, because you're still there.
You're still there. It's just like if you don't like an outfit that you bought and you wore it a few times, you thought you liked it, now you don't like it, 9 times out of 10 you'll give it away, get rid of it or something, and get something else that you like. So why don't you apply that to your life? So what Mark said, if it's still in your life, you must like it. Mm-hmm. You need to explore that.
Yep. And here you are sitting there all alone. Mark and Linda are beating the hell out of you. And nobody believes in you. Well, that is the darkness that doesn't belong in your life. We will definitely be talking about this. But how many of you feel that way? How many of you feel I start on things and nobody supports me? Nobody believes in my dream. You know what? It doesn't matter, right? The only one who has to believe is you. And we will definitely be talking about this because that's number 2 on the list of things sent in to us that they wanted help with, is building up confidence and that. So we're definitely going to be drilling into this one. So if you're that person out there that's sitting there saying, nobody believes in me and I'm all by myself, one of our shows coming up are going to be designed just for you. Another good one, Linda.
Oh, wow. Success is for other people and never you. That's right. They can do it, but I can't. And my question is, why not?
Mm-hmm. I have never been a success at anything in my life. Every time I try something, I just fail, so why should I get up and try? Mm-hmm. Ever heard that coming out of your mouth or inside your head with that monkey chatter? Well, this slide's for you. Mm-hmm. Instead of this beer's for you.
This slide's for you.
Yeah. Okay, so you're an old dog. You can't learn a new trick. Yeah, you can.
Oh, yeah, you can. The older I get, the more tricks I learn.
Mm-hmm. You can be really tricky when you get older, and you can get away with it. So we're going to teach you some new tricks, you old dogs, you. We're going to teach you a lot of new tricks. And you know what? We're doing something a little bit different coming up here for probably April. It is some short little things here and there that we're going to be sending out to our subscribers and our listeners and actually on our show and on our pages. Just little things that we're going to come up with that are going to take you on a really incredible journey. So, you know, get kind of boosted up for that because we're really looking forward to driving this in a direction that, you know, we never saw coming when we started. So, old dogs, we're still learning their tricks too. Mm-hmm. That's not a big one because I'm going to raise both hands on this one for me because to this day, I don't have as much patience as I would like.
Yep, when I see something that I really want, I want it yesterday. I don't have the patience a lot of times to do what needs to be done to go where I want to go. Yeah.
So this is something that, you know, you're going to have to find a way to drill through. We're going to give you some ways that we work through it. But if you're ever getting frustrated, you start something, you're getting frustrated a lot, or the kids, or your life is too hectic and that, we're going to be talking about ways that you can settle in, have more patience, have more contentment. But again, another day. But do you recognize yourself here? Again, Linda and I certainly do. Oh, the sad little person.
Oh, no confidence in your ability to change. Oh, that's a big one too, Mark. It goes back to being afraid to step outside of the comfort zone. It goes back to not feeling good enough to be able to make the changes necessary to get what you want. You just don't have that confidence to step forward into the unknown. So we'll definitely be talking about this one.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure everyone's feeling this, Linda, because I know you are. I know I am. I mean, right now, I'm not feeling good. Like inside of me right now, I feel like my power is being drained out of me just in putting my head in these spaces. And so, gosh, I don't live in this space ordinarily, but I can certainly feel, for those of you that up until this point, we've shown a lot of things here tonight. We have more. And, if any of this is affecting your life, man, oh man, we really need to unleash you from it. Because honestly, Linda, I can feel my energy draining. I can feel I don't want to speak anymore. I just want to flip through the slides.
I know. It's just like, we knew that tonight's show was going to be hard.
Yeah, but I didn't know how hard.
Yeah, I didn't either. It's really impacting me as well. I can't wait for our upcoming shows so that we can lift ourselves and everyone else back up again.
Yeah, you betcha, because I'm feeling a little stressed and unhealthy right now.
Oh, yeah. me too. That's about the way I feel. But
yeah.
And the sad part is, Mark, and this is one of the reasons that we knew that this show was going to pull us both down, but we also knew we needed to put the mirror up. And we needed to say these things out loud so that our listeners could recognize themselves and know that they're not alone and know that they have some place to come to. And we can work through each and every one of these.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something too, guys. Just so you know, I booked a yoga session like a half an hour after this. Because I did not really realize the impact, but I knew I needed to get myself into a space that was more healthy and more calming for me. So we talked about this throughout tonight, just being stuck. But you know what? You kind of like it there. Why? Because you're used to it. Your shoulders are slumped. Your head is hung. You hate every second of it, but you kind of like it too.
Yeah, because it's used to it. There's nothing that you have to change.
Don't have to leave that comfort zone. It's a big lie. It's a big lie you're telling yourself. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be shifting into a new dawn of your life. And we're going to begin again. We're going to hit the reset button, and we're going to challenge each of these in their own time slot with their own message, and we're going to give you a myriad of ways to get out of each and every single one of them, one at a time, one step at a time.
Whew, that makes me feel better.
Yeah, me too.
I know that there's a light. And it's a good light, and it's a positive light, and I am going toward it as fast as I can.
Yep. And we want all of you to come with us. We're going to make it easy. We've talked to tons of you We know where you want to go with this, and we're going to provide it to you, but we're going to take it in smaller steps because a lot of our shows encompass a lot of material. And what you're telling us is you're getting a little overwhelmed, that you don't know where to start. Well, we're going to start you, and we're just going to go one step at a time, and that's it. We're going to allow you to take that step throughout the week and then move to the next one. Very slowly, very cautiously, very timidly, but we're going to allow you to go there. You asked us to do that, and we will do that. So if you want to connect with us in different ways, find more about us, lindalehman.com, marksview.com, and whentheshifthitsthefan.com has a ton of stuff on it. If you're finding yourself, you're burning out, you're stressed, you're fearful, you're not getting what you want to get, all of those things, you can find them on whentheshifthitsthefan.com. We've got over 2 years of stuff in there, and we hope that you'll, put the blanket over your head, take the flashlight so nobody can see you, and then click on it and get some help.
Exactly. We're here to help. There's, as Mark said, there's tons of information on When the Shift Hits the Fan, as well as our respective websites. Even if you don't want to wait until next week to see which one we're going to tackle first, go over to When the Shift Hits the Fan and start listening to some of our previous shows. It's good stuff out there, guys.
You betcha. It certainly is. So this is enough for tonight, you guys. If you're feeling like I am right now, go for yoga, go for a walk, go for a bubble bath, do something, and get ready to shift. Get ready to shift with us because you can. It's going to be good for you. It's going to be good for the other people in your lives, and you're going to attract a whole different life, one that you're seeking and simply cannot get right now. So, Linda, that's what I have for them tonight.
Oh, that's awesome, Mark. And I just want each and every listener to take this seriously, take it to heart, because we're taking it to heart. Go ahead and spend some time on your list. Look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, this is where I am. And then look yourself in the eye and say, I'm ready to make a change.
Awesome. So, shifters, we will see you next week, same time, same place.
Good night.